My name's Ross, and this channel is all about bringing you the best tips and tools for starting and growing a video production company or videography business. And to make sure you get the most out of this video, I've broken it down into 3 key parts. Part 1 is going to be about identifying your audience, the one that's going to make you the most amount of money the quickest. Part 2 is my 5 tips that you can do right now to start winning more business and growing your video company. And part 3 is going to be how you can continue that growth and sustain it throughout the year, creating a stable business with guaranteed income for 2022. I'll then be doing a bonus walkthrough at the very end of this video, so make sure you stick around and you'll get the very best out of everything that you learn. Today, this video is brought to you by the Perspective Academy, but more about that later in the video. So, jumping right into the action, identifying your audience is going to mean the difference between ending the year with 20 brand new clients or just 3. And if you're thinking about skipping this part already, then I'd probably recommend you taking a career path working for someone else, because it's not a good sign if you're trying to cut corners already. Those ways just don't work. Now, for those of you who are serious about starting or scaling a business, you need to write down these 3 questions that are going to help decide your audience. What am I good at? What do I enjoy? And what industries do I already have experience in? For anyone starting a business, this is super important because you firstly need to create a business around the industries that you enjoy. And no doubt you want to start making money fast, right? And the reason we do all of this planning is so that in part 2 and 3 and the bonus tip, you know exactly who's the most likely to give you work. So make sure you stay until after that for that bonus walkthrough where I'll show you all of this in action. And by the way, for existing businesses looking to scale, we need to do this every time we enter in a new market or a new industry. So don't think that this doesn't apply to you, because it is very, very important to know where the money's hiding and what you're passionate about doing to find it. Now, still sticking with your audience, I want to touch on niches or niches depending on what part of the world you're from. I mentor a lot of people who get too focused on a niche. And my advice is that if you're starting out, you need to do what excites you and let your business be passion-led. But more about that in a moment. And if you have an existing business already, you need to ask yourself, what industry could you go and deliver a presentation about video production in? What are the businesses that you understand enough to speak their language, use their buzzwords? Because deciding on a niche is great, but if you don't speak their language or connect with that audience, then you're not going to be able to maximize the sales. Sure, you might get a few, but you won't be able to get the most value out of that niche as possible. If you guys are enjoying this or feel like you're getting any value from this video so far, then let me know by clicking on the like button. If we can get to 5,000 likes, that would be pretty awesome, and I'd really appreciate you showing your support. And remember, if you stay until the end for my bonus walkthrough, we're going to put everything in this video to work. Now, there is one final tip for part 1 that I'd like to mention, particularly if you've been struggling to get work or you've been affected by the last couple of years. I strongly believe that we did so well last year, growing the business by over 40% because we have a diverse portfolio. We still have niches, but because our portfolio is diverse, it means that if we couldn't film at events, we could still film products. If hotels were closed, then we could go and film action sports. And having that wide range of experience meant that we could dictate the future of our business and still continue to thrive, where others who perhaps had niched down too far or just put all of their eggs into one basket in a particular niche were unfortunately not able to survive or at least continue growing at a substantial rate over the last couple of years. So using those questions that I spoke to you about earlier, you can determine what things you're passionate about and what you can start to grow your portfolio more in, so that you have got more options if something like this ever happens again. Now let's head into part 2. And if you've watched this far and taken some notes, then that's a promising sign that you're committed to growing your business this year, because you're not looking to cut corners and you're willing to put in the work. We've still got part 3 on how we're going to create a stable cash flow. Plus, I'm going to be walking you through how we actually get clients. So make sure you stay until the very end for the maximum value. And as I said before, if you enjoy any part of this video, please let me know in the comments, press the like button. It would be awesome to get to 5,000 likes on this video, and only you guys can make that possible. So, 5 tips that you can do right now to start winning more business and growing your company to that next level. These are the most common places where people get stuck, and it's what people on my course struggle with before they learn the strategies needed to succeed. And I'm going to try and keep this quick fire so we can pack as much value into this part of the video as possible. So get ready to take some notes. Number one is all about stepping outside your comfort zone. It might sound obvious, but growing your business is all about who you know and who knows you. You need to go to events, network with people, put yourself out there. And believe it or not, I hated this and struggled with this a lot when I started because I was actually quite a shy person. And I was always worried about what other people would say and what they would think about me. But I ended up going to one event and I managed to sign $25,000 worth of business over 2 clients, which just wouldn't have happened if I felt comfortable and stayed at home inside my comfort zone. So you have to remember to keep pushing those boundaries and stepping outside and meeting as many people as possible, and you're gonna have a much better chance of growing your businesses. Number 2, objections are not rejections. Don't confuse people's questions of your business with them not wanting to buy from you. I include loads of information and sales tactics on my training course about this and how people actually buy. Sometimes you can be dealing with what we call a mismatched personality, where they will object to literally everything you say, and it feels like an interrogation of your business. The important thing to remember here is to stay cool and calm, don't get flustered. They're literally just saying, I need more information. And again, I struggled with this when I started my video production company, and with some people you can actually agree with them before you flip it round. For example, yes, video is expensive and here's why. It feels really weird, but you've got nothing to lose, so you just got to remember to keep your cool, understand what is it that they're trying to say, because again, their objections to your business aren't them rejecting your business, they just need to find out more information. And there's many different sales tactics and ways that you can actually do that to make sure you have the best chance of closing that person as a client and bringing them round full circle. Tip number 3 is don't sell past the point of sale. Christo from the future has a brilliant video on this, and it wasn't actually until I watched it a couple of years ago that I even noticed that's how I've managed to lose so much business in the past. So you guys can see I'm on this journey with you and I'm definitely still learning. You need to watch out for clients saying things like, let me think about it, or I need to speak with XYZ, or let's book in a date. Because if you carry on trying to sell them on why you're so good, sometimes even out of excitement, then even when they've told you that they're happy to move forward, this can really put them off and completely destroy the sale. Again, there's been many moments where I've been in meetings and I've been so excited to tell them all of the reasons that we're so good for the job to really sell us, and I've missed them saying that they need to do either further research or they're happy to move forward, and as a result, they've actually changed their mind along the way. And again, I wasn't until I watched this video that it made me realize, yeah, damn, I need to stop doing that. So make sure you go check out Christo at the future. I hope you're still with me and taking notes, because tip number 4 is to use your network. The quickest way to scale a business is through referrals. So you need to make sure you ask friends, family, or existing clients if they know anyone that can benefit from your services. Referrals are so powerful because if I trust you, I'm going to trust the person you're referring to me. So you just need to utilize your network and ask them, is there anyone that can benefit from my services? Would you be happy to put me in touch with them? And that's a great way to massively increase your overall clients in a very short period of time. And finally, tip number 5 is 10 people per day. Sales is unfortunately a numbers game, but if you reach out to a minimum of 10 people per day, every single day, and remember to follow up with them, then you'll be sure to sign up some new clients. And if you stay until the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we do this in my bonus tip. So what I want to know is who's doing these and who's not. Let me know in the comments below what tip you thought was the most thought-provoking for you and what ones perhaps you haven't really considered until now. So for those of you who are still here, we're moving into part number 3. So congratulations, because if you've watched this far, then it clearly shows that you're determined to soak up as much value as possible, which is only going to give you the best chance of taking your business to that next level. So let's say you've got 10 new clients. How can you continue that growth and sustain it throughout the year, creating a stable business with a guaranteed income? Because let's face it, if you don't know where your next project is coming from, or you can't guarantee regular payments, it makes it extremely hard to grow any business, especially a creative one. Hence why you always hear the term about starving artists. So how do we do it? Well, we use a retainer system model where we manage to contract our clients and exchange our services for regular cash payments. Now, retainer systems have been around for years and are huge in industries like social media marketing, but are very uncommon in video production. Well, that was until I started teaching it to hundreds of people. Now, the good news is that for clients, it's still a brand new concept, so it's win-win. They get content and you get paid every single month. And this has had a huge impact on the businesses of my students. For example, it has allowed Kane to move into a creative office space within just a few months of starting up. Bertie is employing his first person because he knows he has the cash, and it has allowed many others to smash through that 10K per month barrier. So this seems like a great time to mention the Perspective Academy and our free training event where you can learn about our system called the RCP and the other parts of the business that make it so successful. The Perspective Academy is an online course like no other. It focuses on the business side of filmmaking and creating a stable business with a predictable cash flow month on month. It has over 158 videos and more than 26 hours of on-demand coaching, covering in-depth walkthroughs on sales strategies, business systems, and marketing. And this works for people who are just starting out or those who are looking to take their business to the next level. And if you want to register for a free training event, I'll leave a link in the description below, and that will include more information and provide an insane amount of value. Okay guys, so finally, let's head over to the computer. I promised you a bonus tip, so let me show you how we find and approach clients. So if you've watched this video all the way through and have been making notes, then you'll recall in part 1, we identified your audience by asking those 3 questions. The audience most likely to give you the most amount of money in the quickest amount of time, because you can provide immense value from the very start. And if you remember in part 2, we then suggested about getting outside your comfort zone and being able to network and attend events and use various sales strategies to speak to as many people as possible. Now, if you haven't yet had a chance to implement those things, or you just for whatever reason find yourself at home and haven't been able to venture out, then what I suggest is using this strategy. Taking into account the 3 questions you asked yourself earlier, we're going to head over to Google and we're literally going to type in the industry that you wrote down earlier on, or the things that you're most passionate about. So let's say I've got a good portfolio in the real estate area, so I'm going to type in estate agents. Estate agents near me. Okay, caps lock obviously doesn't need to be on. I'm then going to head over to Google Maps, and inside Google Maps, it's going to show me all of the estate agents in my local area. Now, the reason we want to focus on your local area is because you instantly have something in common with those businesses. It makes it much easier to build up rapport if you can say, hey, I literally live across the road from you, or hey, I've lived in this certain town or state or wherever for this length of time. It would be great to have a chat. I've seen your signs all up and about, etc., etc. So if you're working with smaller or small medium businesses in the local area, it makes it so much more likely that you're going to have a better chance of success in landing those new clients. So the next thing we're going to do is literally zoom in, find an area, and you'll go through these step by step. I've actually demonstrated this in a video previously, so I'm just going to skim over it. And the main bit of value I want to provide to you is, what do we say? Once we've got their email address and we found all these people, this is very well and good, but what do I say to them? And I'll bring that at the very end of this bonus tip. So let's take Michael Graham Estate Agents Bedford. That's pretty local to us, so we're just going to simply head over to their website. We're going to look under the contact page, and here's a little extra tip here. Do not fill out any contact forms, because if you fill out a contact form, the chances are it's not going to go to the person that you need to speak to, and that's often the business owner or the marketing manager. It's probably going to go to a receptionist, and then it ends up being a lot of friction points, which means they might not actually end up speaking to you. So we're going to scroll down here and find if they've got any email addresses that we can use, any people. We've got their offices listed here. So for this, let's maybe head over to our team. Sometimes people have their email addresses beneath it. Let's go to head office. Let's click on Simon Hill. He's the managing director. Does it let me click on him? Okay. So it's given me his email address. I'll be honest with you, it's never normally that simple, but you can obviously some websites it clearly is. So what we're going to do is you would obviously send them an email. If you didn't find them there, then we know that Simon Hill is now the managing director. So I would literally do a Google search for their name followed by LinkedIn, try and find them on LinkedIn, connect with them and perhaps start up a conversation there. Or I would just try to find any articles that perhaps people have written. If you're thinking about a product-based business, then you might have a generic email address, and it was really important to then try and find out who is the owner of that business and can you connect with them on different platforms to find out what is their bespoke email address if they have one. Because again, if you've got a bespoke email address addressed to that person, then you know it's going to reach its intended destination. It hasn't got to flow through a load of other people. So once you've found the correct person's email address, and you can do this for hundreds and hundreds of people, and I'd actually recommend if you spend a day doing this, you can easily add, let's say 50 to a couple of hundred email addresses into a Google Sheet or a CRM software to keep all of that data to one side. I definitely don't believe in mass messaging people, mass emailing people, because you can tell at the end of the day if it's designed for you or if it's designed for lots of people. So try and make every email bespoke. Now, what are we going to say to him? So I'll put in the email address, and normally with a subject line, I would keep it something that makes them intrigued, something that generates a bit of, I want to open this, I'm not 100% sure if it's destined for me, but it doesn't put them off. So I might just call this video content, or maybe website video, or something like that. Just keep it really short so that they might think, oh, are they talking about a video we've just had done, or I'm not sure. So they'll want to open it, if that makes sense. So nice and short on the title. So we're going to say hi first name. For this, I'm just going to put XXX, and then I'm going to keep it really short. I don't want to sell my whole life story to them. I don't want to bore them. Business owners, as you know, are very busy people. All I want to do is book a meeting with him. I just want to book a meeting so I can take 10 minutes of their time just talking them through if there's any possibilities for us to do work. I don't believe in ringing someone up and them saying, no, we don't need your work, and then trying to get them around. I mean, there are sales tactics on the Perspective Academy that can help understand how you can get the most out of those situations. But I honestly believe about just asking them, you know, can we have a time for a chat? Is this something that interests you? If you're interested, let's talk about it more. If they're not interested, then don't let them waste your time either, because there's no point in having a conversation with someone, trying to convince them to have a video when they've told you at the very start, I'm not interested. We've just had some done. Don't try and upsell them, or don't try to continue selling to them. You're only going to waste your own time. So we're going to say, you know, hi James, I just came across your website and noticed that you didn't have many videos. Maybe that or exclamation mark. I'd love to have a chat with you to see if it's something that you'd be interested in. Here are a few links to my work, and then you can link them below. Let me know if this week works for you. Ross, okay. And then we'll chase them up if we don't hear a reply. We normally chase them up within like kind of 3 days just to say, hey, you know, did you get the email from before? I know you're probably busy, but you know, I'd love to touch base with you because I'm genuinely wanting to work with your business. And that's why, again, if you've got a diverse portfolio, you can do this with lots of different industries. And particularly when I asked you those questions earlier, one of them was, what do you already have a portfolio in? Because this becomes much more powerful if you start linking inspiration, because these people won't necessarily be the most creative people. Whereas if you can show them a video that someone else is doing and it really gets their creativity going, their excitement, they're engaged with what you have to say, then it's going to be a much easier process to sell to them. So if you can list it out like this, Are you interested? Yes or no questions, or yes or no answers, and then we can take it from that point onwards, set a meeting with them, talk them through the kind of videos we can produce, the costs involved, all of those things, and then you all of a sudden have got yourself a brand new client. And that is just one person on that whole Google Maps full of people that you can be emailing. Again, it is a numbers game, so you need to do as many of these, try and aim for 10 per day. Don't forget to follow up with them. Now, this strategy is simple but very effective, so if you find it useful, then make sure you press the like button. It would be amazing to get to 5,000 likes. I would really appreciate that. And if you want to build a stable business over 2022 with a predictable, guaranteed cash flow, if you want to learn how to turn these people into regular paying clients and contract them, then I 100% recommend you take a look at the Perspective Academy. Register for that free training event. You've literally got nothing to lose. It will take about an hour to an hour and a half's worth of your time. Bring a pen and paper, make sure you're ready to smash the hell out of this year so that you can take your business to places that you never thought was possible. If you want more content like this, let me know in the comments, and maybe check out this video right here. This is performing really well and provides a load of valuable information too. Until next time, peace.